Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Stomp This Way. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. We're fresh from the theater. Well,
Yeah.
not that fresh. It's been a few hours, but we did earlier today go and see Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Andrew, tell me, how were you feeling about this movie going into it?
You know, I felt like it. I hoped it was gonna be better than the last two we got.
Yeah, I mean, I saw from the trailers, and I think I may have said this before, it looked like it was going to be a back to basics, on an island running from dinosaur style sequel, which, I mean, I can't say I was super excited about it, but I was like, if they just kind of go back to the classic formula, maybe it'll be a fun time, nothing original or anything, but God forbid, but maybe
Originality, what's that?
Yeah, what's that? Maybe it'll just be a fun little dinosaur romp. So yeah, I would say about lukewarm was my feelings going into it. But anyway, I think we do on new releases, we typically do like a spoiler free, should you buy a ticket for it or not, kind of review at the beginning. So Andrew, I guess we'll go ahead and do that now. Spoiler free. No spoilers, Andrew. Give a brief overview of your thoughts and just say, should you buy a ticket to see it or not?
Like I said before, I thought hoping this movie would be better than the previous counterparts to it were.
Yeah.
And I think it was all right. It was decent. I think it was better than the last two entries we got in the series.
I would agree.
And maybe I'd say if you enjoyed the Jurassic Park series, you would enjoy this movie all right. And I think you should get a ticket if you're an enjoyer of this kind of films.
Yeah, listen, I mean, by default, it is better than the last two Jurassic World movies. I mean, I will give it that. I mean, my basic thoughts are, it is, it's a Jurassic Park movie. We're going to go to a park. We're going to run away from dinosaurs. It's nothing you haven't seen before. They've retread, pretty much all the plot points you've seen throughout this franchise. There are some exciting sequences, no doubt. We'll get into those in our spoiler review. There's also a lot of been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the cast the cast on paper is pretty impressive. I don't think the characters in the movie are anything to write home about, any of them really at all. I don't know, as far as listen, it's a spectacle, Gareth Edwards, we'll talk a little bit more about him coming up. He's a good visual director. And the movie looks good, I think. The effects look good, all that kind of stuff. It's one of those movies where it's it's okay, but would I recommend you buy a ticket to go see it in the theater for $10 or whatever? It's hard to say, because I do think part of the appeal of this movie is seeing it on a big screen. So, seeing it at a home on your TV, it may lose a bit of, what makes it that big summer blockbuster event. But at the same time, there's 40 other blockbusters probably this year that you could go see and get the same level of thrill out of it. So I don't know. I think my review would be basically you could probably catch it on Peacock and be satisfied. But anyway, you want to get into the broader podcast?
Sure.
Spoilers could be will be definitely here in a little bit. I don't think there's any major spoilers in the production trivia, but just go ahead and put the spoiler warning here. If you don't want to know anything else about this movie, stop here. But yeah, let's talk about some production trivia for Jurassic World Rebirth. It was filmed in Thailand, Malta, and the UK from June to September of 2024. It was written by David Koepp, who was a writer on the first two films. And Spielberg worked with Koepp to develop the initial story. This is the first sequel to not feature any returning actors from any of the previous films. It was shot on film, 35 millimeter film. And this was a rush production. You know, as soon as Jurassic World Dominion was, you know, finished and out and everything, the studio was like, let's get to work on another one. And, you know, they brought on Gareth Edwards and everything. And Gareth Edwards actually did, I think, ask for an extension at one point, but they were like, no, we need the money. And so it was a short production. They did not have time to build animatronics. So I think this is the first film, at least as far as I could tell, that didn't feature any animatronic dinosaurs. So, you know, we'll talk about some of the rushed elements as we go through. But anyway, you want to read some box office information?
Box office information.
Yeah.
All right. This film was released July 2nd of 2025.
Yes.
And with a budget of $180 million.
Yeah.
Opening Wednesday of $30.5 million. Projected opening 5 days of $141 million domestically and $312 million worldwide.
Yep, you know what that means. Sequel.
I don't know what they could do, but you know, they're running out of source material.
Yeah, well, you know. Anyway, let's play a trailer here, and then we'll talk all about the cast and the crew. I've got the plot summary to spoil the whole movie if you don't care about that kind of stuff. And then we'll talk all about Jurassic World Rebirth. So see you in a bit.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett, our mission specialist.
Sorry, what mission?
This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
Oh my God.
Fortunately for us, all these species exist in one isolated place. Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less?
He's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
Move up towards Barbados, avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs.
Do we have to get a sample from an egg?
I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Maybe we should make it quick.
These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park.
Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors.
The worst of the worst were left here.
Come on! Duncan!
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
They're helping the mosasaur defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
All right. We're back again. So, yeah, there was the trailer. And now for the cast and crew. This was directed by Gareth Edwards, written by David Koepp, music by Alexandre Desplat, and starring Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Rupert Friend, whatever, Manuel Garcia Rufo, and Ed Skrein. Briefly. And the plot summary, again, major spoilers. I'm going to tell you the whole plot, so if you don't want to know it, go away now. But the plot is more or less as follows. 32 years after dinosaurs were first cloned, the ancient animals, who had at one point broken free and spread across the globe, are now all but extinct once again. The surviving members of the species are mostly contained to a series of islands near the equator, where the environment is more favorable to them. In comes Martin Krebs, who works for a pharmaceutical company who needs DNA samples from history's largest dinosaurs for a new heart medication. Specifically, he needs samples from the Mosasaurus, the Titanosaurus, and the Quetzalcoatlus. I messed that one up. That was the flying one. He hires mercenary Zora and paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis to go along. Zora recruits Duncan Kincaid and his crew to take them to the island. This island, Isle St. Hubert, was a facility used to experiment with mutated dinosaurs. It was abandoned after one experiment, the Distortus Rex, or D-Rex, escaped. Meanwhile, the Delgado family, consisting of the father Reuben, his two daughters Teresa and Isabella, and Teresa's boyfriend Xavier, are sailing across the Atlantic when they are attacked by the Mosasaur. Their boat is overturned, but they survive. Duncan hears their distress call and his crew rescues them. Soon after, Duncan's boat comes under attack from the Mosasaur. Zora and Loomis are able to get the desired blood sample, but then the Mosasaur returns with Spinosauruses, who all attack the boat together. During the chaos, Teresa goes to call for help, but Krebs stops her as he doesn't want anyone else to know their location. She slips and goes overboard, and Krebs makes no attempt to save her. The rest of the Delgado family goes in after her. The boat is ran aground, and now the Delgados and the rest of the crew are separated. A couple of Duncan's crew are killed by the Spinosauruses. Zora urges everyone to follow her to complete the mission, as she has chartered a helicopter to do a flyover if they are not heard from in 24 hours. The helicopter will fly over the following night. The crew successfully gets a sample from the Titanosaurus, but runs into trouble with the flying Quetzalcoatlus. Whatever. Another member of Duncan's crew is eaten, but Loomis is able to get a sample from one of the bird eggs, and the rest of the crew regroups on the ground. Meanwhile, the Delgados are making their way to the engine compound on the island by following the pipes running across the surface. Isabella adopts an Aqualops who starts following them. Soon, however, they run across a sleeping T-Rex. Teresa wakes it while inflating a raft she finds, and the T-Rex chases the family downriver. They miraculously all survive the encounter. The two groups reunite at the abandoned engine laboratory. Tension erupts between Teresa and Krebs, but they are soon attacked by hybrid dinos called Mutadons. Krebs acquires a jeep and runs off, while the others attempt to signal the helicopter before it flies off. However, the helicopter is destroyed by the D-Rex, and the others go into the underground drainage system to try to reach the docks before Krebs can steal the last boat. They all reach the docks, and Krebs is promptly eaten by the D-Rex. Duncan distracts the mutated monstrosity while the others ready the boat. They get on the boat and get away, and for a moment they believe Duncan is dead. He signals them with a flare, however, and they pick him up. In the final moments, the survivors head out to sea, escorted by a pod of dolphins, as credits roll. More or less.
That was more or less the whole entire plot.
The whole entire plot. Now you know. Now you've been spoiled. But anyway, listen, when I heard that Gareth Edwards was directing this movie, I took that as a positive sign. My feelings on Gareth Edwards are obviously
mixed.
Well, sort of, yeah. He is a great director. He is not a storyteller.
No.
Like, if you go through all of his films, I've watched Monsters, his breakthrough movie, Godzilla, obviously, 2014, and The Creator, and Rogue One. And all of them are great visual movies.
Yeah.
He knows how to do effects. He did his own effects on that Monsters movie on a little HP laptop or something. He knows how to handle effects. He knows how to film effects. And he knows how to do. He knows all about the lighting. He knows how to make colors vibrant. Or
He knows
movies.
how to film a scene perfectly.
Yeah, he knows how to make the colors vibrant and color palettes and. I mean, he knows the visual art of filmmaking, and none of his movies are ugly.
No.
There are beautiful. I mean, Rogue One, The Creator. I mean, Godzilla 2014 is underlit, but aside from that, they are beautifully shot movies.
Mm-hmm.
The strength of his films always depends on his screenwriter, and largely throughout his filmography, I think his screenwriter has let him down. I think that's true on Godzilla, true on The Creator, which had some screenwriting, script issues.
Did he write the monster?
Monsters, I think he wrote and directed Monsters. And, it has, I mean, it's a low budget movie. It has a fine, just little human story to go along with the monster stuff. But yeah, and then Rogue One, I mean, I really like Rogue One. I think the first 2/3 is kind of clunky. And then, if rumors are to be believed, actually the best parts of Rogue One were refilmed by somebody else. But, but I think Gareth Edwards is a competent director. That's what I'm getting at. So I was excited about that. And then David kept coming back, obviously, was something that they kind of really pushed with this movie. I mean, he did co-write the first movie with Crichton, and that's obviously one of the all-time classic films. He also wrote The Lost World, which we said was kind of a meh movie. So, that is what it is. And then we're replacing Giacchino with Alexandre Desplat. I don't know. I might be saying that wrong. I like Desplat. He obviously worked with Gareth Edwards on the 2014 Godzilla score. I think probably most famous. I think he did 2 or 3 of those later stage Harry Potter movies, which are solid scores. So, and then ScarJo and Mahershala Ali are the 2 names that I knew really well coming in this movie. And I like both of them as actors. But anyway, so getting into this movie, it starts 17 years ago.
Wow.
We're on a new island that no one's ever heard of, off the French Polynesia or whatever. Isle St. Hubert, is that what I said? And they're running a research facility where they're basically, splicing dinosaur DNA together. And
they're making the mutated dinosaurs.
Mutated hybrids, all kinds of genetic freakazoids.
Because, people are bored with regular dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's a big point. They're going to... and I think they really have these intertitles after this opening sequence here. But yeah, a big part of this movie is that people were bored with dinosaurs. And that's why they were doing all this. But I'll get back to that. I got some issues with the timeline here. But anyway, there's someone eating a Snickers bar. And they say eat a Snickers when you're not yourself when you're hungry, eat a Snickers. Well, this guy needed to lay off the Snickers because this little Snicker bar is going to cause a whole lot of issues. It's the wrapper gets somehow caught in the door's ventilation intake or whatever and fries it and
ruins the whole containment system.
And then ruins the whole containment system. And to me, I don't think they had very good enough safeguards, but
if a rapper can.
And the one guy with the Snickers bar gets eaten, and everybody else runs away, and then we cut to present day, and we have the intertitles to tell us, it's been 32 years since the original Jurassic Park, and the public has grown bored of dinosaurs, and most of the dinosaurs that were released in the prior Jurassic World movies have gone extinct because today's climate is not suitable for them. Which, they're trying to find an easy way to write themselves because they want to keep, for whatever reason, they want to keep all these movies in continuity. They wanted to find an easy way to write themselves out of the obligations of some of those previous Jurassic World had kind of written them into. So this is their way out. And, I accept it, whatever.
But it's understandable.
Yeah, and the surviving dinosaurs basically live within 50 miles of the equator, circling the Earth. So that's our setup. And then we do have one of the last few surviving dinosaurs outside of the equator is causing a traffic jam because it's escaped its containment and it's just a giant brachiosaurus.
And it got tangled up in the wires and stuff.
Yeah, just laying in the road. You kind of feel bad for it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to be introduced to Krebs first. He's driving, and he is supposed to pick up ScarJo, who's playing a mercenary. But she just gets into his car during this traffic jam. And we get our basic plot pretty quick. He's for a pharmaceutical company. You immediately know he's the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he needs ScarJo to help him go and get some dinosaur DNA for some heart medication that they need. And also they're going to invite along
tens of millions.
And make trillions.
And make trillions.
They're going to bring along Jonathan Bailey playing Dr. Henry Loomis. I don't know why you would name anyone Loomis in a movie unless you're actually trying to reference Halloween, but he has nothing in common with Dr. Loomis from Halloween.
No.
He's kind of a quirky guy. He's I guess a paleontologist. He worked under Alan Grant. We get a name drop.
Ooh.
And he's a curator at a museum. But, basically Krebs is like, this will be your chance to see a dinosaur in real life that's not in some kind of zoo or something. And, of course, he's sold on it.
He works at a failing gym.
They're closing the museum. One thing, and again, I think there's a lot of timeline issues. And this movie obviously was rushed production. I think this script probably needed a couple more write-throughs they didn't have time to do.
Yes.
But he says, one thing that really bothered me early on was like he said 5 years ago, you couldn't even get into the museum. But I'm like, 5 years ago, we had already gone through the events of almost all these movies. I think dinosaurs would have been old. If you're going to make the argument that dinosaurs are old news, which I'm still like, I don't know. I don't know if dinosaurs ever would be old news, but
yeah.
I think he should have said 15 years ago or 20 years ago or 35 years ago before the first part. The business, not 5 years ago, but
even, people would still go to a museum, even if they were bored of dinosaurs.
Yeah, they may not be as big but yeah, I mean, people go to natural history museums all the time, but I mean, even though people are still walking around, we still go read about our ancestors and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
it doesn't make a lot of sense.
But it is whatever. So they get him, and then they're gonna go down to where do they go? The French Polynesia or whatever, and they're gonna meet Mahershala Ali, who plays Duncan in this movie, and he's an old companion of Zora's, and they're gonna strong arm Krebs into some extra money, but Mahershala Ali is gonna take them on his boat to where they want to go.
He has a pretty nice boat.
He's got a pretty nice boat. It's a pretty nice boat. Yeah, it's not some rickety thing.
Yeah. He says he's still paying it off.
Yeah. and Ed Skrein is part of the crew here. But anyway, so they're going to get on the boat and they're going to head down that way. Meanwhile, we are introduced. I don't know how I feel about this subplot here. We're going to be introduced to the Delgado family. And it's a dad and his two daughters. One of them's getting ready to go off to college. And the older daughter's, the one that's going off to college, her boyfriend, Xavier, are on a sailing trip across the Atlantic, I guess. And they're sailing close to the equator. So, of course, they get attacked by a mosasaur. We get some character introductions where Xavier is made out to be really lazy, and the dad doesn't like him. Yeah, yada yada. But the mosasaur attacks, flips over their boat, but they all survive, and they get their little radio, and they call a distress signal, and then there's some the Duncan's crew hears it, and there's some argument about whether they should save him or not, but Duncan decides they are going to, so they go and pick him up at the protest of the pharmaceutical guy. And
he's like, this is my charter.
Yeah, well, this is my boat. And then so then they're gonna then the big boat's gonna get attacked by the mosasaur. Very Jaws-ish. I think they had a trailer for the Jaws 50th anniversary screening in front of this movie. Yeah. Very fitting. But no, I think there are two standout scenes in this movie. And one of them is the scene with the mosasaur. It's a pretty protracted scene because the mosasaur attacks their boat, And, they're going back and forth. And finally, Zora is able. So basically, their whole thing is they need blood samples from three dinosaurs. The mosasaur, because it's the biggest aquatic dinosaur. It's all kind of contrived. I don't know why they need this, but the mosasaur, because it's the biggest aquatic dinosaur. The titanosaur, because it's the biggest land dinosaur. And the the one with the Q, whatever. The big flying dinosaur, because it's the biggest avian dinosaur.
Yeah.
It seems pretty contrived to me to just set up some action sequences, but whatever. But she's finally gonna dart this mosasaur and get the blood sample, and then it's like, oh, happy we got it. But then the mosasaur comes back with some some much more physiologically accurate Spinosauruses.
Yeah.
Because they were amphibian, and they attack the boat, and they're wrecking the boat. And then there's a scene where we gotta hammer home that the pharmaceutical guy's evil. So the Teresa goes to call for help on the radio, but of course the pharmaceutical guy doesn't want anyone to know where they're at, so his competitors can, get a leg up on him or whatever. So he basically tries to stop her from calling for help, and then she pushes him, and then she falls, and she's clinging to the ramp and asking him to help her, and he doesn't. He just lets her fall off overboard.
Yep. And
then of course the boyfriend jumps in to save her, and then the dad and the other sister jump in because he's like, this boat's gonna wreck, we gotta get off of it.
Which he isn't wrong.
It's either the Spinosauruses or a wrecked boat. They picked the Spinosauruses, I guess, but they all survive.
Well, they can't get the mosasaurs and stuff can't get into the shallow water.
Yeah, the mosasaur can't get into the shallow water. That's why that's why Duncan's going for the shallow water.
Yeah.
But of course the boat actually just runs aground, so it doesn't do anything.
Well, it doesn't run aground, it kind of ramps.
Yeah, Ed Skrein, I mean, he is killed. He's the first to die, I think. He gets eaten during this whole boat chase sequence.
Who?
Ed Skrein.
Yeah.
He gets eaten by one of the Spinosauruses.
Yeah, when he was trying to shoot at them.
Yeah. So he was, Ed Skrein is an actor I know. They kill him off pretty quick. I guess it's supposed to be kind of the surprise death. And then one of the chick that was on their boat, she's trying to they threw over a big package of supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's trying to pull it ashore or something. And
most
they don't realize that the Spinosauruses are amphibian. They can do land or water, and it comes up and gets her.
Yeah.
But so that was basically the first act. And, I'll say at this point in the movie, I'm like, okay, I think we have too many characters, but maybe they'll just be food. A couple of them are being killed off already. Maybe they'll just be food, body count. I like Mahershala Ali and ScarJo, I said, as actors. I think Mahershala Ali is the one actor in this movie who has personality. And I kind of like just because his sheer, personality.
It was the other dude that was the mechanic.
The mechanic. The French guy?
Yeah.
I didn't write his name down, but yeah, he was kind of funny. And
I enjoyed that guy.
It's kind of clunky because they're like, we need to set up backstories for these people. So there's a scene on the boat where Mahershala Ali and ScarJo literally sit down and just talk about each other's problems. They're like, he's like, oh, I heard you lost so and so in your last mission. And she's like, oh yeah, it was really sad and hard. And
car bomb,
blah 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 in Yemen. And he's like, oh, I also heard that you didn't go to your mom's funeral. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, that's the worst thing anyone could do.
No, she said that. She's like, I also missed my mom's funeral. And he's like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard anybody do.
And then she's like, did you make up with Amy or whatever? And he's like, oh no, after our son died. It's just kind of a clunky way, in one quick scene to get all their backstory crammed in to try to make us feel sorry for these characters, but whatever. And then the Delgado family, at this point in the movie, I'm kind of unsure of where I stand with them. Do we really need all these extra people in this movie? The character of Xavier, which every time they try to make him say something funny, stupid funny.
Which almost every time he speaks.
Which is almost every time he speaks, I hate it. Mm-hmm. My eyes roll so hard, they almost fell out of my head every time. That's when they first get to the island, he's like, do old people, what did he say? Do old people, when they're buying a bed, look at it and say, this is going to be my deathbed because this is what I'm thinking right now. I'm like, what? I guess that was supposed to be funny. I don't know. I mean, I guess some people in the theater laughed. Pretty crowded showing, by the way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously it's doing well. But anyway, judging by the reactions as we were leaving, I don't know how much staying power the movie's going to have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think some of the kids were definitely having fun.
Some of the kids.
Some of the kids. There were some adults down in front of us. They were like, "I want my $10 back." But
Yeah, but you know.
anyway. So anyway, that's kind of where I stand with the first act. But like I said, the mosasaur chase of the boat was like one of two standout scenes. So I'm not hating the movie at this point. What about you?
No. I think it's a decent movie at this point.
Yeah, so now we're gonna get into the second act. They're on the island. We're gonna get into our more classic Jurassic Park setup. We gotta go, and Zora's like, "Listen, I've got a plan B. I chartered this helicopter. If they don't hear from us in 24 hours, on the second night at night, they're supposed to do a flyover of the engine compound, and if they see someone, they'll rescue us. If they don't see one in 2 minutes, they'll fly off." And it's like, okay. So anyway, so their goal is to get their samples and get to the engine compound. The Delgado family, they're separated. They're also like, they found some pipes, geothermal energy that powered the compound, and they're going to follow them back to the compound. And the dad hurt his leg during the whole mosasaur thing. So he's kind of limping around.
Comes in and out throughout the whole movie.
It seems like his limp is kind of fades in and out as the script requires. But
yeah.
yeah, whatever. Anyway, so they're going, and they go and they see like the Duncan's crew and Zora's crew, all of them. They go and they run in. We have our majestic, every Jurassic Park movie has got a big majestic moment with some long necked dinosaur. So we run into the Titanosauruses. Get it? Titanosaurs. Mm-hmm. I think they might actually be named after the Titanosaurs from Godzilla. But they're supposed to be the biggest land animal ever. They're these giant herbivores that, look kind of like Brachiosauruses or Apatosauruses or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you get our big majestic moment where they play the classic John Williams music, and there's a whole herd of them, and they're like doing some mating ritual, and they shoot their little dart at them and get their little blood sample or whatever.
Yeah. And the blood sample shoots off every time you shoot something.
Yeah, so like that, it shoots into him. It's like a little needle, and it shoots into him. It draws the blood, and then it shoots off into the air with a parachute for them to retrieve it or whatever.
Yeah. Which is neat, so they don't have to, extract the needle afterwards.
Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh, we got to go and get this sample from the birds." So there's just right in sight, conveniently. There's
no,
they see
he says when he mapped the island out, they found where they were essentially located.
Okay. Anyway, but there's a cliff face with a hole dug into it where the bird is living. And who dug that cliff face? Who knows? Not answered in this movie. You'll have to come back later. But
they're like, is this some ancient temple
ruins or something?
Never answered.
Never answered. I just assumed it was like a living place the scientists just like made up for the birds. I don't know, but
probably.
And there's also a tunnel leading down into it that Mahershala Ali finds.
Yeah.
And like they never bring that back up. You can feel as you watch the movie, like there were drafts of this script that were done and they just never quite coalesced all the ideas. No. I don't think. Because, especially here in that sequence, there was some unanswered questions that they brought up when they didn't need to bring them up at all. I mean, the temple thing they had to bring up because obviously I don't know why they didn't just cut the scene where he finds that stairway leading down into it, because that absolutely goes nowhere. But anyway, they have to go in. They're going to get a sample from the egg because they don't think they can get a sample from the adult. And they, of course, get attacked. And the French guy you're talking about that's funny, he gets eaten. And there's some comedy with them rappelling down the side. And Dr. Loomis, not being used. I will give Jonathan Bailey credit. I like him and his like quirky attitude.
He tries.
He's got the whole, why don't we, instead of giving this to the evil pharmaceutical companies, open source it and let everybody have it, classic speech.
Yeah.
And ScarJo's like, well, maybe. I do kind of want to get paid, though.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the conflict between them two. But they're also kind of falling in love or something. I don't really know. But
she had a 10 with 6 zeros behind it.
Yeah. And there's some jokes about that. And she's like, but I don't make money that way. He's like, yeah, you're going to be broke as hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do like Jonathan Bailey in this movie though. But anyway, they get attacked by the adult. The French guy gets eaten, and then Bailey or Loomis, he gets the needle and then he falls to the ground. But no harm, no foul. He hits some leaves on the way down, broke his fall or something. And
Yeah. And there was water.
And there was water. He fell into some water. And then Mahershala Ali and ScarJo meet him down on the ground with Krebs still there.
And then the container like conveniently lands beside him.
Yeah. And then we go back. I think actually before this, we cut back to the Delgados. And here's the other standout scene. As I've mentioned before in our first review of the first Jurassic Park movie, that one of the big scenes that's cut from that first novel is a scene where they get on a raft. Alan and the kids get on a raft, and the T-Rex chases them downriver or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're pretty much, I mean, obviously some changes because the characters are different, but they're pretty much going to recreate that scene from the book for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's kind of a big deal, I guess, to Jurassic Park fans. This is almost like the Tom Bombadil version of them for things that were left out of the first Jurassic Park movie. And I know a lot of Jurassic Park fans are really excited about this sequence. I said in our first Jurassic Park review, and I stand by it, I didn't like that sequence in the book. It was the only sequence in the book that I kind of felt like came out of a children's book, just with the whole like Tyrannosaurus sleeping and we got to sneak past him and get to the boat bit. I like it in this movie though. I like the way it's staged. I think it's pretty tense. I think it's pretty exciting with the Tyrannosaurus. She gets the raft. Teresa goes and gets the raft. And when she inflates it, of course, it wakes up the Tyrannosaur. And then it gets into the, they kind of think, I think that they think they're going to be safe once they get in the water. But of course, the Tyrannosaur can swim.
Yeah.
And it's swimming and it's knocking them over. Now, one thing I don't mind. I decided by the end of this movie, I don't mind the Delgados in this movie.
Yeah.
What really bugs me about them though, is that one of them should have died. It feels like the fact that they all survived this scene with the T-Rex is like, okay, really? And I had to tell you, that's one industrial strength raft, because that T-Rex like gets in his jaws and swings it all around and it never pops.
No.
And they get between some rocks that the T-Rex can't get between, and they go to safety and the raft gets thrown over to them or whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty magical. The daughter, they kind of try to recreate that first movie scene with the kids in the Jeep trying to hold up the sunroof from the T-Rex when the T-Rex. It's a really cool shot where the T-Rex, the girl is under the raft, it's flipped upside down, and the T-Rex jaws come in and the teeth marks are, their impressions are coming down on her or whatever. That was a cool shot. That's probably my favorite shot of the whole movie. But anyway, so they float down, but they get to safety. The raft survives. I feel like the dad should have died. It feels like a classic setup where, like, over the course of the movie, at first the dad doesn't like the boyfriend, and then the boyfriend like starts to take responsibility and kind of pick up the slack because the dad's obviously on a leg that's sometimes injured, sometimes not.
Yeah.
And it feels like the classic setup of like, oh, the dad is gonna die, but we're building it up so that the boyfriend takes over, responsibility for the family or whatever, and you kind of get that character growth. But no, they just all live.
Yeah.
It's like,
or
whatever.
or the boyfriend dies.
Or the boyfriend dies because he's the lazy stoner, and before he gets his character
There was
development.
a scene that he almost did die. It was a fake out thing.
Oh yeah, where the raptors are coming up behind him.
Yeah.
And he's taking a pee, and the raptors are coming up behind. Another scene that I rolled my eyes out. And then one of the flying dinosaurs comes down and gets one of the raptors, and
The other one.
he's just like listening with his stupid look on his face. He doesn't want to turn around until like day after they run off.
Split and stuff gets slung on him.
Yeah. And it was like, whatever, okay. But
and then he continues.
that's the only scene in this movie with actual raptors.
Yeah.
Watching that trailer.
There was a scene in the trailer.
Yeah, where he's like, I think it is the goofy kid, Xavier, asked the guy, Loomis, like, please tell me they're not raptors. He's like, they're raptors. And I guess they cut that out of the movie. I don't know. There was probably some weird stuff happening in the editing room.
Yeah,
But, I feel maybe they filmed I feel like because it looks like in the trailer that was probably in the third act when they're in the convenience store or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they initially filmed that with raptors and then sometime in post, or maybe they went back and did reshoots. They're like, we don't want to do a raptor scene again, and so they did like these raptor flying dino hybrid things. But anyway, so they've got to survive. They float downriver. Eventually, everybody comes back together at the abandoned research facility from the beginning of the movie. And at this point, you know, there's some tension because Therese is like, that Krebs tried to kill me. Martin tried to kill me. And now he's got a gun. And so everyone's kind of like just handing him the samples and kind of backing away. But then Wikipedia tells me these flying things are mutadons, and they're supposed to be like hybrid raptor pterodactyl things.
Yeah.
And they get attacked by those things, and I don't know why there's a convenience store on an island that wasn't open to the public, but
it was for the scientists.
You needed like a full-on convenience store for the scientists. You couldn't just like have like a lunch hall or something.
It was this live on place, you know.
Okay, whatever. There's a convenience store for reasons, and they get chased around for a little bit.
The convenience store clerk had to save his job.
And they basically try to recreate the kitchen scene with the raptors from that first movie with this convenience store sequence. And the Delgados at one point like get in the underground drainage system.
Yeah.
And then the trailers, if you watch the trailers, it made you feel like the big bad of this movie was going to be this big ugly thing called that they've got toys of plastered everywhere in every supermarket, the D-Rex. Well, if you saw the trailers for this movie, you saw most of the screen time for the T-Rex, or at least you saw the two scenes that he's in. You see in the trailer the opening scene where he like grabs the guy, and then you see him like Mahershala Ali trying to distract him at the end.
Yeah,
you see us, and that's the two scenes that he's in. He's not in any other scenes in this movie.
Yes, he's in the where he grabs the helicopter.
That's all the same scene. That's what I'm saying. Like he's here at the end, where you see him like walk past the convenience store door, and then the helicopter shows up, and they're like trying to Krebs. There was like this Jeep thing, transportation, maybe more like an ATV than a Jeep. I don't know, but him and ScarJo were hiding under it, and then he got the keys for it and ran off with it. But you see the D-Rex walk by, and then the helicopter comes, and Loomis gets a flare to draw their attention, and so they start coming back. And then there's, of course, some fog that rolls in, and
you see the D-Rex behind them moving towards the helicopter.
And the D-Rex comes out of the fog with the helicopter in his mouth. And then, the big chase ensues, and they all get in the underground drainage system. There's always, in all these movies, there's an underground tunnel of some sort.
Yeah.
And they're getting chased by the Mutadons or whatever, but they're like, we got to get to the docks because that's where Krebs is going to go, and he's going to take the last boat.
Yeah.
So they get down there and they get to the docks, and of course there's a gate that's holding them back. And the little girl, by the way, she picked up a little Aquapolis or whatever I called it. Basically, it looks like, I guess it was a real dinosaur. It looks like a little Triceratops with some crossed with some little lizard thing.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the merchandise seller for this movie,
Doris.
Doris.
And
anyway, she has to sneak through the bars and go unlock the gate or whatever and save everybody. And they lock the Mutadon behind the gate. And then the D-Rex shows up just as Krebs is driving in. And of course, he promptly eats Krebs, and he drops the briefcase with his severed hand, and ScarJo picks it up. And they got to run to the boat, but of course the crane isn't working or whatever.
Yeah.
And Mahershala Ali is going to do some self-sacrifice thing where he ignites a flare and draws it away while ScarJo cuts the boat down. And she's screaming his name as he leads it away, but then they get on the boat and they're going to drive away. And then you see the flare go out, and then the D-Rex comes after him, and you assume that Mahershala Ali is dead. But they get away from it, and they're all crying, or ScarJo at least is crying.
Yeah.
Then another flare is ignited, and he's still alive.
Yeah.
The D-Rex, for whatever reason, decided not to eat him, I guess. Once the flare went out, he lost interest.
He couldn't see him
But it didn't come back for him when he ignited the second flare to draw their attention.
because he was already in the water.
Whatever. So they save
Whatever.
Mahershala Ali. The one like gut punch moment, they flinch and draw back on, and then they are all happy and driving, riding the boat out into the open sea. And I'm like, that mosasaur is 100% going to eat them now.
Mhm.
But they kind of copy the original Jurassic Park where they were in the helicopter. They saw the pelicans, which was like a symbol of a return to normalcy. In this movie, they see a pod of dolphins swimming beside them. So again,
Yeah.
same effect. And and ScarJo and Loomis decide that they're gonna open source the dino DNA, and everybody can
Get
the medicine.
get the life-saving medicine.
And I don't know, are they gonna be a couple?
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway.
It was like a mini way thing with ScarJo.
Yeah. One thing, the D-Rex was very disappointing. Like,
Yeah.
he was marketed as the big bad of this movie. Like I said, he's in 2 scenes of the movie. Total screen time of like maybe 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's we'll talk about creature design. It's something. I don't think scary's the word.
No.
And he's barely in the movie. Like, even in that first movie, I mean, the T-Rex didn't have a ton of screen time, but you felt the presence of that T-Rex throughout that movie. And when the T-Rex was on screen, it was like, oh my God.
Mhm.
Or even the Raptors. Like, the Raptors were a constant threat. Same thing with the T-Rex in the second movie. The Spinosaur in the third movie was like a constant threat. And then in the Jurassic World movies, the Indominus Rex had a lot of screen time. The Indoraptor didn't have a lot of screen. It was, he didn't show up to the second half of the movie, but there was a lot of him chasing them around the house or whatever, however much I hated that. And then the Giganotosaurus, it had a couple of standout scenes in its little movie.
Yeah.
That last movie. The D-Rex is just such an underwhelming force in this movie, I feel like. There's not like really one dinosaur in this movie. I guess maybe the Spinosaur, Mosasaur like combo attack or whatever is the most memorable sequence in the movie. And I take that back. The T-Rex scene is the best scene in the movie, I think.
It's a T-Rex.
But it's a T-Rex. Obviously, it's going to be the best scene in the movie. And like I said, I do like the Mosasaur, Spinosaur attack. The rest of the movie, whatever. It's dinosaurs.
It's dinosaurs.
You're running from dinosaurs, mutated dinosaurs. And another thing is like the human bad guy. Like, obviously, I mean, I know we all agree pharmaceutical companies are evil. That being said, I wish we had a villain that had a little bit of depth. Like, Krebs is just like a mustache twirling
generic,
corporate bad guy. Like, that first movie, I think you could argue like maybe Hammond was kind of the antagonist, but he had depth to him. He was a kind of a morally gray character. And then even like a real bad guy like Nedry, he was bad, but he was entertaining.
Yeah,
he was funny.
He had a call. He wanted to get rich.
And even in Jurassic World, like D'Onofrio was again a mustache twirling corporate villain, but D'Onofrio has a lot of charisma and he delivered a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah.
So at least he may not have had a lot of character depth, but at least he was entertaining when he was on screen.
He had enough charisma to get him through it.
Yeah, he had the $7 a soda line or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, I enjoyed him when he was on screen. Just
he was just him
chewing up the scenery. This guy is just such a plank.
He's such a plain.
And he never even really feels that threatening. He does have the gun at one point, but he never really points it at anybody, I don't think.
He had it at its side. Like,
he just kind of holding it out to the side.
I have a gun.
I never really feel like he was going to let the girl fall off the boat, but that's like the most threatening thing he does the whole movie. And he drives off with their vehicle or whatever. But yeah, he's just like a plank, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the movie's fine. Like it's a return to formula. We don't do the whole stupid haunted house bit, or we don't do the giant flying locust bit,
or the dinosaurs going to the city anymore.
We don't try to go off script. Which I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I would like something original, but we've seen when they've tried to do something a bit different, it usually backfires. So
Yeah.
that I guess helps the movie, and there are some good sequences and all that. And the cast is, like I said, it's a solid cast. I think the characters are woefully underdeveloped. And I wish more of them died.
You don't think Xavier is the
greatest character
Greatest
since Alan Grant now. I wish more of them died. I think we needed a bigger body count in this movie. I wish more of the important characters died. We have some superfluous characters that die. I wish more of the important, at least one or two of the important ones. Like I said, I think Mahershala Ali and the dad should have died. It gives some gut punches in this movie. Something to think about.
You don't think Xavier should have died?
Maybe kill off Xavier. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. You want to get into some creature design?
Sure.
Well, you've seen all the dinosaurs before. We get a mosasaur, which I like them. It looks pretty similar to what it did before. Big crocodilian thing. Spinosaurus is good at radical redesign. They're more amphibious. They've got kind of 4 equally sized limbs, like 4-legged creatures, instead of bipedal, and they swim, and their body size to spine size is much smaller, I think.
Yeah.
I like the Spinosaurus redesign though. The T-Rex looks like a big T-Rex. It's a mega T-Rex. It's a more genetically modified. It's not Rexy, different T-Rex.
Yeah.
I'd heard rumors that Rexy died in this movie, but I don't think that's confirmed anywhere in the movie.
Yeah. Because how would she get on this island?
Yeah, there's the Titanosaurus, which is a big Bronchiosaurus looking thing, but it's got like a frill on its neck.
Yeah.
And their tails get really thin as they go down.
Yeah.
They really thin tails. It's kind of funny, but they're majestic. They're nice.
Majestic.
Then the big flying thing that I can't say the name of. It's a big flying dinosaur.
Yeah.
At least cool enough. The little Aqualops or whatever that Isabel adopts. Like I said, it looks like a little Triceratops combined with like a little lizard.
What did I say her name was? What did they say?
Doris?
Dolores.
Was it Doris? I thought it was just Doris. Was it Dolores? I don't know.
I don't remember.
It
was some
it's cute.
Old name.
It'll sell toys.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, it could have been worse. It didn't fully Ewok up the movie.
No.
And then, of course, the D-Rex. They they've said as much, they took kind of a xenomorph design, but they wanted to give it this bulbous head so that you would kind of feel sorry for it because it's obviously, distorted, like his name. It's obviously...
Didn't it have 4 arms?
Yeah, and it had it was kind of like a quadruped, 4 big legs, and then it had 2 little T-Rex arms in its chest. Kind of Cloverfield-ish. But they wanted you to make it look like it was in pain, and you were supposed to feel sorry for it, which I guess kind of works. I don't know. But again, it's so underused. I never really feel like it's a big threatening presence in the movie. I forget about it for most of the movie until the end. And
they make it sound so deadly when they got out of containment.
Yeah, they were freaking out so bad when it was out of containment. But then it just kind of hangs around the lab at night. It doesn't go anywhere else, I don't guess. But
I guess it leaves in the daytime and comes back at night.
I guess it sleeps is a nocturnal animal, so I guess it sleeps during the day and then comes and patrols the the lab at night. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So creature design, fine. I don't love the D-Rex. Everything else works, I think. But effects. Oh, sorry, what?
The effects on the dinosaur, none of them look terrible.
No, the effects, again, for a rush production, I thought the effects were good in this movie. I thought the CGI was as good as it's ever been. I do miss animatronics. Obviously, I'm a big fan of practical effects.
Yeah.
But I can't complain about the CGI. There was no one scene where I was like, that didn't look good.
Like we said before, Gareth Edwards is really good at this stuff.
Gareth Edwards, no, he's not going to settle for bad effects, and he knows how to work with them. So I'll give him credit there. No problem there. I mean, this movie from the time production actually started to the time it ended was like a year and a half. So they worked on this baby really. That's for a Hollywood production. That's pretty quick. So yeah, I'll give him credit there. Visually, it looks very good. It's very bright and vibrant. Color palette, once again, just like most Gareth Edwards movies, very good. And then score, I mean, I obviously anytime
the original thing.
Williams themes comes up. It's like, ooh, Williams.
They play that a lot more in this movie.
They play it quite a bit in this movie. I feel like when they're not playing Williams music, Alexandre is trying to do like a copyright free version of Williams music, and it's like whatever. One thing, this is a small thing, but it really irked me towards the beginning of the movie when they're on the boat. They used Williams like piano soft Jurassic Park theme as like a love theme for ScarJo and Loomis.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this is not a love theme for people. This is like the majestic theme for the dinosaurs. But, you know, whatever. That's just a small thing. Just a little complaint.
You know, it's a love song.
So, no, it's not. It is not. It is for us a majestic. I mean, they used it in tender moments in the past, but usually like at the end of the movie when everyone's back together and they're leaving the island and they're reflecting on how crazy of an experience it was or whatever.
I think they used it during the
Titanosaurus.
The Titanosaurus.
Yeah, they use it there too to much better effect. And then they use it again, the piano theme at the very end when they're all like they usually do on these movies when they're all driving away, boating away or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just noticed that and for whatever reason. It just kind of irked me. But
like, no.
And I have to circle back. Well, I'll talk about that in my final thoughts. Andrew, you gonna do some final thoughts?
I guess I can do some final thoughts.
Go for it.
You know, like we said, this movie it's decent. It's better than the other two entries we've gotten so far in this new series of Jurassic Park World movies.
Yeah, this is set up to set off a whole new trilogy.
Oh,
yeah.
Not a very strong start.
No, maybe not.
It's not like the Jurassic World started strong.
Yeah, it started strong, ended weak, but whatever.
Like most series.
Maybe this will do the reverse. Start not as strong and end strong. We'll see.
Not as strong.
But anyway, please continue.
You know, the cast in it is all right. It's a pretty, veteran cast.
Pretty stacked cast.
Mm-hmm.
ScarJo, Marshall Ali. Yeah.
Others. They do the best they can with what they're given. And, the villain in this is the most generic guy you could ever find in a villain movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have any character except bad corporate guy.
Me pharmaceutical company, bad.
Literally his old character.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll give you 10 plus 6 zeros at the end.
Yeah.
I know. The score in this, it's a score. It's all right. It's there. It serves its purpose. It's not the best Jurassic Park World theme you'll ever hear, except for when John Williams come on. It's always best when that happens.
Yeah.
But, and the dinosaurs, I like the dinosaurs. They all look cool. The D-Rexes, it's there. It's all right, It looks cool when it's on screen, but, they hardly ever use it. Like they showed you in the trailer, they thought made you think it was gonna be in a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
But I think I'll give this movie. I'll give it a C. It's a straight C.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I want to circle back to something. The timeline. I think I've referenced this earlier, but so they say like. At the beginning, or at some point, so this is 17 years. This scene at the beginning, I think, is supposed to be 5 years before the Jurassic World incident. And he says later, like, the public had gotten bored of normal dinosaurs, so they made this lab to genetically modify dinosaurs. Well, the problem with that is, before Jurassic World, the public had never seen the dinosaur park. How could they have already been bored of dinosaurs if the public had never seen the dinosaurs? But whatever. I'm sorry, I just had to get that off my chest.
Yeah.
Again, I think the script needed another pass through or two. But yeah, listen, it's fine. That's my ultimate review. It's better than the last two. It doesn't like crap the bed completely like the last two. Getting back to kind of the basics formula helps it. There are two standout sequences that I think I will remember from this movie: the mosasaur chase and the boat, and the T-Rex chasing the raft, which were pretty exciting sequences. I think Mahershala Ali is pretty good. I think Jonathan Bailey is pretty good in this movie. ScarJo is fine.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think her character is given that much depth or, you know, that much to do. But
Yeah.
very generic mustache twirling villain. The D-Rex is a big disappointment. It's one of the weakest. I don't know if it's as weak as the Indoraptor. At least it was a little more unique than the Indoraptor, but it's just used very little in this movie. I think the design, I know what they were going for, but whatever they were going for does not come off as scary. It just kind of comes off as goofy to me. So it's not really that scary. It's a long movie. I mean, not that the Jurassic Park movies have ever been that short, except for Jurassic Park 3 maybe. But this one is a longer one, and you kind of feel that runtime after a while. I feel like they needed to kill off a couple more characters. They kill off some of the superfluous characters, but I strongly feel like the father character of the Delgado family should have died. I felt like that's where the movie was building up to, and the boyfriend kind of taking over, you know, responsibility for the family. And then no, they just kind of all live. Like I said, the dad's limp kind of come and goes as is convenient for the script. But
when they first do it, they act like it's this bad thing, and then they're like, "Oh well."
Yeah, they make like a big deal. There's like a cracking sound when he first gets his leg caught, and then he's like, "Oh, it's fine," and it looks like he's walking fine. And then later, he needs a walking stick, and he's barely able to walk at all. And then
he's swimming, and then he's
swimming, and he's not swimming. I don't know, whatever. But I feel like there was again some reshoots maybe that didn't quite jive. But ultimately, like I said, my review it's fine. If you just want to turn your brain off and watch dinosaurs chase people around, it functions on that level, and it never has like a giant locusts moment where you're like, what am I even watching anymore? But if you were hoping for a deeper Jurassic Park movie that kind of got closer back to that original, or even just like a fun rehash closer to the Jurassic World, I think it falls short of those movies. I'm with you. I'm going to give it like a C-. Is what it was.
It's what it was.
But you want to rank the franchise real quick? I think what I'm going to do, I think we kind of talked about it before we started recording. I think our lists are very similar. I'm going to start at the top because I think there's less drama at the top and more kind of muddied at the bottom. And you stop me when I rank something out of the order that you would. Number one, obviously on a tier of its own, we agree the first Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah.
Number two, I think kind of also on a tier of its own, second tier would be Jurassic World, the first one.
Yeah.
And then I would go down to kind of the third tier of movies, which I would say are okay. Not great, but okay. I would say that would be in the following order would be The Lost World, the second Jurassic Park movie. Then, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. It would be Jurassic Park 3.
I was about to say, I thought you said.
Yeah, it'd be Jurassic Park 3, then The Lost World, then this movie. And that would be kind of like the third tier of okay movies. Like you can watch them, they're fine, whatever. And they would be ranked in that order. Part 3, Part 2, then this most recent one. And then on the bottom tier of the movies, like you just never need to watch because they're bad. It would be Jurassic World 2 and 3, Fallen Kingdom. I would put, if you'd asked me before we started this retrospective, I would have said easily Fallen Kingdom's the worst. After rewatching them and kind of getting away from the initial shock of how bad Fallen Kingdom was.
Yeah.
I actually think I would put Fallen Kingdom second to last, and then Dominion, just because they wasted bringing back the legacy characters so badly. I think I would rank it at the bottom. But honestly, those two could be interchangeable.
I think I'm flip-flop though. I think Dominion is over Fallen Kingdom.
You think Dominion's a little bit better than Fallen Kingdom? But you do agree that they're kind of down in a tier on their own. The worst. So yeah, that's how we would rank them. Yeah. Pretty fair, don't you think? News real quick. Both in the world of movies and on our personal side. Troll 2 got a trailer. Remember that movie Troll? That Norwegian movie on Netflix?
Wow.
Do you remember that movie?
That was a long time ago.
We watched it. We reviewed it. not
I
that
know.
long ago.
No, I mean the movie came
Yeah.
out a while ago.
They're gonna do a Troll 2. I watched the trailer. I forgot to show it to you. The first movie, I think we agreed, wasn't that great. This movie, I don't know. It looks like they're gonna try to make some trolls fight each other or something. I don't know.
Troll War.
Troll War. I don't know. I'm not that excited about it, but of course we will watch it and review it.
We did the first one.
We did the first one, and also there was a first look at Godzilla the ride. You know, there's been a thing for a while in a theme park in Japan. Well, what's his face? I just totally blanked. The guy that directed -1. He's doing a new version of the ride, and they revealed their first look at Mecha Godzilla, who is going to be like in the new version of the ride.
Ooh.
And you can go online and see that new design. It kind of looks very Kiryu-ish. Makes me wonder though, are they going to build that CGI model for the ride and then use it for the sequel to Godzilla -1?
Ooh.
I kind of hope not. I
Yeah.
want the -1 sequel to stay grounded, and I don't think you can stay grounded with a Mega Godzilla
I don't think you can stay grounded really with any other monster.
with any other kaiju fight. Probably not.
It's hard to stay grounded.
Yeah, when you start introducing multiple kaiju, it's a little hard to stay grounded. Ask the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can go online.
You could just go all out and go into the Final Wars thing.
And then G-Fest, like I said, some schedule news. G-Fest is coming up next week. Don't think we're going to record a podcast at G-Fest. We had to make a change of plans. We're still going. Dylan is not going to be able to join us, unfortunately. So it'll just be me and Andrew. So I had to go in and change some flights and blah, 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 blah.
All that fun
all
stuff.
that fun stuff. It was fine. It was actually pretty easy to do, but and I actually got cheaper flights. So go me. And I got American Airlines, which I'm much more comfortable with, just because I fly it a lot than I am with United, which I've never flown before. But and American gives you, at least with basic economy, a free carry-on. United does not give you a free carry-on with basic economy.
Wow.
So screw you, United. We're sticking with American.
America.
All the airlines are rip-offs, but whatever.
Yeah, but you know.
Anyway. So, but after that, I think I've said before, we'll get back on Ultraman. We'll alternate Ultraman movies with Rega trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
I think our first movie when we come back will be Ultraman R&B, the movie. So check that out and watch that along with us. But other than that, is that all we got for today, Andrew?
I think that's pretty much everything we have.
All right. Well, don't forget that you can always contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com.
And you can find our website at www.stompthisway.wordpress.com.
That's right. And you can also find us on Facebook at Stomp This Way. But anyway, as I said, 2 weeks from now, we will be doing Ultraman R&B, the movie. I don't know if that's how it's actually supposed to be said, but that's what I say. And as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And we will see you next time.